Perfect. Okay, sweet. I'm gonna share my slide, and I'll share my screen, and then take us through the slides. I'm gonna explain a little bit about who I am, what you've done, and also how to get buy in from stakeholders that can maybe help you as you grow your community or scale your community. You obviously need to get the buy-in of your stakeholders, because at the end of the day, you might need to get more community managers working for you, helping you to achieve your goals. You might have strategic plans, and everything involves around money at the end of the day. You need the money and the time and the space to do those strategic plans and to execute on them. So that's what the talk's going to be about. I'm going to share my screen. Perfect. All right. So, hey everybody, this is what we've been talking about, the securing stakeholder buy-in for your community programs. But firstly, who am I? Who's this G person in front of you? So, as alluded to in the intro, my name is Guillaume de Smet. Guillaume is French for William. I live in Cape Town in South Africa, and I've been here for many, many years. I grew up in Pretoria, but yeah, I've been living here for the last couple of years. Is my sound a bit distorted? Okay, so let's see if I can change my microphone to something else. Just give me 1 second here. I can find it.
This is better.
Okay. This is better. Okay, cool. Good to know. I've got this new microphone, so I don't know. I'm busy messing around with these settings. Okay, thank you. There we go. Let's kick us off. So, yes, as I was saying, I studied electronic engineering 2014. In 2013, while I was studying, I started Startup Grind chapter in Cape Town. I was busy running my own business. I was doing my own running my own business. I was studying. I was all over the place. It was crazy days. But at the end of the day, I managed to build up a really cool community and start in Cape Town. And as a part of working for Startup Grind, I also managed to get involved with Startup Grind HQ. So I initially joined them in about 2015, and eventually after joining, managed to lead the entire community programs. So I went from building the community from 150 to 200 chapters and scaling that up to 600 chapters globally. So a chapter at Startup Grind is basically a volunteer that runs an event every single month, very similar to the CMX event that's being run here today. So managing those volunteers, managing where the program was going, engaging with stakeholders, having to explain why I need more headcount to achieve the goals. So getting buy-in was actually something that we needed to do. One thing that I was fortunate, which I can say, was that Startup Grind itself is a community. That is the main part of it. Whereas often a community is more of a subset department or a smaller department within marketing, or sometimes even within sales, that's trying to help grow their product that they're busy selling. So it is a bit of a different nuance between the two, community and through product. But at the end of the day, you still have objectives, you still have KPIs, you still have goals, reports, and everything that you have to do. In 2020, I moved over from community management over to product management to Bevy. Now, Bevy is the platform that we used to run Startup Grind. It's the platform we're using right now for CMX event. And basically, it helps to run in-person as well as virtual events globally for communities. So that's who I am. That's what I've done. I have a lot of experience with not only this product, but also with community management, growing communities, and working with them at a global scale. So one of the top frustrations, comes from the 2022 Community Industry Trends Report. One of the top frustrations is really how to quantify the value of your community. And taking that actually one step further, it's really about the reason it's hard to get buy-in, because it is so hard to measure that value, to measure the quantity and to quantify that value of community. This is one of the top things that makes it really tough. If you are able to measure it, get success, explain why you need more resources, more money, more whatever you're busy doing, or more buy-in from stakeholders, or more projects, or more involvement from stakeholders, you need to come back to them with a clear and defined KPIs that will show them why it's going to help them and what it's going to do, not only for them, but also for the business. So that's one of the things that I want to do. So today, we're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about how can you measure this stuff. So as I mentioned, it's really, really important to be able to build a strong business case using data, defining clear objectives, showing the benefits, giving the cost estimates, putting that all together, packaging properly, and then talking to the right people in the right room. This is how you get it. So that's the answer to this entire thing, is how do you get more buy-in? Well, you define your clear objectives, you show how the community goals align with the company, explain how this will be good for the company or good for that department or good for that person. So you define that clearly. You showcase the benefits of it, like, oh, it increased customer retention, or our brand loyalty has increased, or we got better product feedback leading to better product, leading to a better outcome and yielding more results, more money, more income, more growth or revenue generation. And then also breaking down as in what the budget's going to cost, or if there is a budget, or what the time is going to take, or what do you need to do in order to achieve those goals. That's it. It's as simple as these three things. Well, it's this kind of simple, but there's a lot more to it. And also, how do you measure it? How do you create those KPIs? So that's exactly what we're going to talk about. More details is how are we going to get to be able to deliver that beautifully packaged talk. So stay tuned for more. All right. Spaces. So this Spaces was created by CMX. It's a really incredible framework. If you're in community, there's a very good chance you might have heard of this or not, and that's fine. But this is a really the go-to thing for community. If you wanted to measure, if you wanted to get it buy-in, you can use the Spaces. So what does Spaces stand for? So the first one is support. This is where organizers members to answer questions for others to improve customer satisfaction and save costs. So if your community has got a big support factor to it, or you are wanting to push support in your community, or this is one of your key deliverables as community, then you are a support community. And you're assisting support. There's less tickets. There's tickets for support because the community are helping each other. It's helping to improve customer satisfaction because you are helping them on the ground, and it's taking the lift off that entire department. So that's one of the ways, or one of the communities that we see. The other one is a product-based community, where you're gathering feedback, insights, improving product offerings. So that's product. Third one is acquisition. So this is really about driving new customers, new leads. Maybe you're doing events and those events lead to new customers. Maybe you're putting blogs together or communication that you're sending out through social media. This all leads, and you're tracking the click-through rates, your UTMs, your cost per click, all of that stuff, and ensuring that it's actually leading to actual acquisition within the company. The other one is contribution. So, this is contribution to content, to code. So it's content and contributions kind of mingled between the two. Some people call it content, some people call it contribution. It's a mixture of both, but basically it's your resources that are helping to become a collaborative platform around the project or around an initiative. Engagement, this is often one that a lot of people use. There's a lot of cool metrics around engagement, like how many people are coming to your website, how many monthly active users, daily active users, how many people are using the actual support articles. Maybe it's internal, maybe it's external engagement. How is this all working? How are they engaging with the community? How are you engaging with your community, as well as the internal people engaging with them? And then the last one is success. So this basically allows you to share best practices through the community which drives better product adoption. So, for example, think of Spotify. Through the community in Spotify, you can hear other people using lists. This is a bad example, but as an example, and oh, this is how you can do X, Y, and Z in the Windows app. Oh, wow, I'd love to do that and try it out. And it eventually creates a better experience with the product, etc. Okay, so that's the Spaces framework. Now, you as an organization or community could be one of those things, or you could be many of those things. Your community could be, I need support, acquisition, and engagement. And those are the three metrics that we track, that we measure against, that I push my goals ahead of, I do my reports against. Maybe it's one of those things, maybe it's many. The top tip I can say around this, if you are starting out with KPIs, with measurement, pick one. Just choose one of these. Don't go after all of them. Very few communities do all of them. So just choose one, start with that one, and really nail it. Dial it in. Get your KPIs, get your reports, get your goals, get your buy-in from your stakeholders. Work around that one. Once you've got that one nailed, you're good to go. Then move on to another one and add and so forth. You can grow your community, grow your objectives, your strategic objectives that you're busy with. And as a result, also grow your stakeholder buy-in. But definitely pick one, go with that one, and then add later. Do not try doing 2 or 3 at the same time. We've seen a few companies try this. It just doesn't work. It pulls in too many directions, and you're not just sure what you're actually trying to achieve at the end of the day. All right. Any questions so far? Can everybody hear me all right? Any questions? Feel free to come on camera and talk or interrupt. Okay. Also, feel free to chuck questions into the chat. I am monitoring chat, so you can ask questions in there. All right. I'm going to take you through these spaces and show what metrics you can use within each of those, with each one of those spaces, and also how you can use that to also get more better buy-in. All right, so looking at support, the top 3 most popular metrics around this is case deflection, active users, and conversation engagement. So it's really about showing how you've deflected product or users or your community from having to create a ticket. You've used your community is helping to answer those questions, and it takes the load off the customer success team. Active users, looking at how many active users have you got that's showing the support for the product, or how many conversation engagement is going on, the posts, comments, demons, checking all of that to show how active your community is, and then putting that against a goal, saying, we would like to increase our conversation goal by X amount by the end of this year. In order to achieve that, I need X, Y, and Z. If you went to a stakeholder, explain it, but then he'd be like, okay, that's great, but how does it help me? And then you can tie that back and go, because we're increasing the engagement by X, Y, and Z, we will be able to deflect X amount of cases. We'll be able to have more active users, and we'll be able to drive our revenue goal by doing X, Y, and Z. And that's exactly how you go about using the spaces to create that conversation, to build that case that you can use to give over to your stakeholders. There are other common metrics like number of percentage of answered questions, as well as reducing your customer support calls. So maybe doing, people phoning into your support, dialing in. So you can see how you're reducing that by answering questions on the helps on the, your forums or whatever tools you're using. Okay, so that's support. Product. So with product is product ideas. How many product ideas the community are coming up with? Maybe some of those great ideas are actually helping your team to build better products and to do it faster. For example, somebody might say, we don't actually need this monster big product. We actually just need this. And if you can just deliver on this one thing, it'll be a game changer. And people in the, people in the product team or the engineers will be like, wow, we never thought of that. That's brilliant. And it's a quick and easy win. And it results in a much happier customer. More customers come in as a result because of word of mouth, etc., etc. Feature adoption. You can use the community to spread feature adoption, that something's coming out, spread that out through your community. Also, user-generated content, getting them to create the content for you. There's plenty of blogs on how to use Jira or how to use Atlassian, for example, and that's created by the community and not actually done by Atlassian themselves. It's really great, especially for product communities or companies that are product-led, that are, product-led growth. They're using the product to actually create more growth within the product. So this is where community would play in really perfectly for those kind of companies. Other common metrics are customer satisfaction and number of events attended. So, you might have events around a topic or around a brand new feature, or maybe to get feedback. By having a certain amount of people in the room, that means you've got active users. It means you can push them to more content, to other places, to helping each other. And as a result, grow the community and the product adoption as well. All right. I see a question here. What if I don't have direct access? That's a great question. And I'm actually going to come back. There's a slide at the end for you. So I'm going to come back to that. Thanks, Latifa. Okay. So acquisition is new customers, new user signups, number of events attended. This is all about acquisition. So the more people you have attending your event, the more people you can be able to get into your product and therefore lead to more revenue growth. That sums really it up for acquisitions. All about using the community to drive more people to your product and lead a thing, and creating KPIs. How do you track that? How do you ensure that people are able to actually get into your product? Are you checking it? Does it come from the community or is it coming from sales? It gets a bit thing. Or is it coming from marketing? Maybe you as community are sitting within marketing. How are you differentiating between the marketing activities and your community? It's extremely difficult to get this right, but there are ways of doing this, and working with other community managers, you can find out, and especially like hosting events, that's instantly trackable. We as a community team ran these amounts of events. Of those people that joined those events, these are the people that signed up to become on team. And then obviously other metrics is active users, as well as conversations and engagements. I see there's a question here from EA. How must one transfer spaces to practical ROI to convince the finance team? Okay, let me finish this and then I'll get back to that question as well. That's a great question. Thank you. Content and contribution. So new user-generated content. So, we've had 20 pieces of content created by our community. That's 20 pieces of content that your marketing team didn't have to do, and it's from users. It's literally word of mouth in a digital format. You cannot get better than that. Having a community allows you to track that, allows you to drive that. Those 20 articles are going to be read by X amount of people. That's going to definitely lead to better product, better product sign up or satisfaction or whatever your goal is that you're trying to track. Active users and obviously conversation engagements around those posts that are created. You can also then link this to your new user signups as well as your number of events of attendees, number of attendees or number of events and number of attendees of that. So that's where the content and contribution. So if your community is around that, or you're wanting to focus around that for your content, that's one way to drive ROI for your community and show buy-in around that. Engagement. So this could be both internal or external. Tracking active engagement is your internal community, your engineers, your product team, your marketing team, are they engaging with the community? Are you tracking that? Or it could be external, like how are they interacting with you or with each other? The more that they're talking to each other and creating more of a community, the more likely they are about talking about your product and other ways to use your product, which could feed off other ideas, creating for more product usage or more active users. Conversations around that, as well as attendee count for events. A great way for you to track those engagement metrics. And then obviously your new user generations and your new user member signups can also fit within that model as well. And then the final one is success. So success is really active users, new user signups, maybe you're using a net promoter score. This is really driving success around your product, like customer satisfaction. Are people happy about your product? Are they going to share this word by mouth? Are they going to share how great this product is, get their friends to sign up? Using these kind of metrics, tying this in, tracking it, building your ROIs around this, and then showing it back to the community or to your stakeholders on what you've done. And then customer retention and customer satisfaction are other metrics that you can do via the NPS score or via talking to them or just monitoring feedback on the blogs, etc. Now, it's not exactly easy to get to all of this. And this is why we say, find one of these spaces. Are you product or are you going to be acquisition? Or are you going to be around engagement? Take one and nail it. Now, great question here is how much you take the spaces and put it into practical ROI to convince the finance team, for example. So a great one around this is, for example, you could go to the finance team and say, well, it depends what your goal is, first of all. So let's just say that you are wanting to hire another community manager for your community, and you need to get approval for this. So you can then find, listen, we are focusing on acquisition. In acquisition, we are going to be doing X amount of events. You, as the one person in the community, are running and moderating the blog, the online content, maybe even social media, and you need somebody else to run the events. How is the events going to help us? So the events is going to bring in new people. Those new people are going to find out about our product, and as a result, will become users of our product. So that's going to generate revenue for us. So we estimate that by having 10 events a year or 5 events a year with an average of 100 people per event, we should be getting about 3 to 5% conversion rate on that. Of those 3 to 5% conversion rate, that is on 100 people, that's what? 10 people become users, that's 10%. So let's say 10% and use that. Okay, so 10% becomes, or 3%, let's say 3 to 5 people become users. And of those 3 to 5 people, each of those are going to create us R1,000 or $1,000 per person, because that's how much our product costs on average over the next 6 months of usage. We know that most of our users use our product for about 6 months. So that is how we can take it. So, okay, cool. It's going to be 5 events. We're going to have 3 to 5 people signing up from each of those events. You work out your maths around that, but you also know there's a cost to run those events. So what does it cost to run those events? And what does it cost to get that new person on board? Okay, it's going to cost, $2,000 a month for somebody to run these events. It's going to be another $500 or another $1,000 to actually run the events and pay for food or for flights or for whatever we're busy with. And then you put that entire package together. You show how you're going to track it. You show what you're hoping to achieve with that. You put it on a trial period. We're going to do this for a trial period of 6 months with these 5 events or 4 events. This person's going to come on as a contractor for this time period. We're expecting 3 to 5% conversion rate, and this is the amount of money we're going to make, and our profit after this is going to be X amount. That's how you tie it in based around these models. This is just one example. If you take that with your metrics, how you're going to track it, beautifully defined for the finance team, put together. I mean, the finance team will be like, okay, let's give this a trial. Let's track it. After every month, let's see, what are you hitting your goals? Are people converting? Are they not converting? What's happening here? Then, of course, you have to go to the other stakeholders, making sure that the CEO and the marketing team and the sales team are all bought into this, that they're happy with this, they're marketing the events for you, and so forth and so on. And that's how you can create your goal to achieve, and then also get funding to achieve that goal, and you track it every single month. And at the end of the 6 months, see our product. And as you go through that, you can see if it's successful. I can almost guarantee you that that kind of model will get sign off unless the company is really not willing to do it, which would be crazy because you've put the numbers down, you've shown what you can do. And on average, I know that in most product companies, it is about the 3 to 5 conversion rate for events. We've seen some companies do up to 20% conversion rates for events. So you might be surprised and go, wow, we're getting 10% or even better metrics. So set the bar low, put the deal together, let's see if it makes sense. If it doesn't make monetary sense and you're not going to, the cost per click or the cost per acquisition of that user is way too high, it's going to cost us 3,000 Rand and the person's only going to spend 1,000 or $3,000 and is going to spend $1,000 with us over the next 6 months. Is it worth it? No, then that's a really bad model. I would not present that to our stakeholders. And I would find, okay, what else can we do to make this product and something work? All right. Great question. Thank you. All right. The other question from Atifa is exactly the next slide, which is how do you effectively communicate with stakeholders? EA has just dropped off saying it's important to use the word trial so as to manage expectations. 100%. In fact, there's a really great article on CMX where they explain how trying to think of what her name was. Anyway, she came into the organization and she literally just put short trials together. And the ones that worked well worked, and the ones that didn't work well, they canned. And as a result, after 2 years, she got massive buy-in from stakeholders, from everybody in the company, from marketing, from everywhere. And it's really, they actually got one of the biggest and best communities globally as a result of this, because they started with these trials, they tested, they measured, they put the packages together, and then if it didn't work, they cut it. And where it did work, they spent more money on it. And the more money they spent on it, the better it became. And as a result, it snowballed. So yes, do short trials with your ideas. Okay, going back to this next topic. Effective communication stakeholders. So it's timing, tailoring, and data. People love data. So with your timings, present your timing at the right place to the right people. Hey, Daniel. Daniel's so cool from Subtle Grind. Welcome with us. Present your business case during strategic planning or business sessions. Don't talk to somebody randomly at the wrong time when their headspace isn't in it. Get the right timing. Also, maybe it's the right timing in the business. You see the business is going in this direction and you see that we can help achieve those goals. You put your product and ideas and everything together. Now's the time to talk to them at the right place. So get the timing right. Secondly is tailor it for things. So EA's question is, how can we talk to the finance team? Well, tailor your message for the finance team, show them the numbers, break it down, show them exactly what it's going to cost, the terms, the length. It's going to be so many months. It's going to cost so much money. This is what we're going to do. It's going to be short term on a contract or trial basis or whatever, and then talk to the CFO. Then go to the marketing team, the CMO, and say, look, we're going to do these marketing efforts. We're going to bring so many people. This is an opportunity for you to market. What do you want to market to those products? Oh, I'd love to get marketing out. Okay, cool. Over that period, we should expect 100 people per event, 5 events, that's 500 people. You are going to have the attention of 500 people over the next 6 months. What do you want to tell them? Boom, CMO's bought in. Sales team, hi, we're going to be doing these events. Why don't you drive some of your salespeople to our events? Some of your prospects to these events. They'll be able to speak to other customers that are using it. Everybody's going to be in a very good mood. It's all going to be positive. Bring your prospects in there. Sales team are like, I can get my next 2 or 3 prospects in. I'm pretty sure they're going to convert at a much higher rate. Done. So now you've got your sales team bought in. And then you just take your sales, your marketing, your CFO, take all 3 of that, go up to your CEO and go, sales team are in, marketing's in, finance is in, this is what we're going to do. If he does not sign off after that, then he should not be CEO of a company. Obviously, I'm just joking, but you get the idea of how, by putting this all together and convincing and moving up the ladder, you're able to get the buy-in of everybody. So then the last one is data-driven. Using the data to show this. Use the data for the graphs, for the schematics for the financial breakdown for the financing, using the data like we expect 3% conversion rate with this amount of things, blah, blah, blah. When you're talking to the sales or community marketing manager, etc. So use the data in order to get those key metrics across. Metrics really, really, really help just break and get through all the noise that is around. Yeah. Before I go over to the next one, I see Latifa has a question. I have a case where the community is new and I don't have metrics to do the convincing. What are some other ways to approach? That is a really tough situation to be in, but also a great opportunity. With a new community, you're at the bottom. Like literally anything you do is going to be better than what you've been doing up until now. So you've got an opportunity to really, really show exceptional growth. So if you need buy-in, or convincing, what do you need buy-in or convincing for? If it's, oh, you need more people, or oh, I need more money, or oh, I need the stuff, and you're a new community, maybe you don't need new money, new people, new stuff. I don't know your situation, obviously. I'm just hypothetically speaking. Maybe you can spend the next 6 months creating metrics, creating everything, tracking what's happening, carrying on with what the community is currently doing, and over the next 6 months, create the metrics so that in 6 months' time, you have the metrics to go and say, this is why I need people, these are the metrics and stuff. However, if it is like you've got a goal that you have to hit and you've been asked to do certain things and you don't have the metrics to convince them that this is not the right way, you should rather go another way, that is much, much harder conversation. But at the end of the day, I would honestly break it down and find out what, if there is zero community, spend the next month putting some metrics together and getting something together from that community, so you can start convincing them within the next week or 2 or month. So you can go like, look, this is what's happening here. This is what's going on here. I can see these people talking about it here. These are the people talking about it. If there's zero community at all, then maybe the way that they're going, or the way that you're wanting to go, maybe finding and getting a halfway compromise, going, look, this is where you want to go. I think we should go this way. How about we compromise? I don't have the data to back up, but I've got a feeling based on these things that this is what I mean. At the end of the day, you have to have a feeling or a something as to why you're wanting to convince them. So really dial down into those feelings, those things, and try and word it correctly so you can get the right people around that. I hope that helps answer the question, Latifa. But obviously, with more context, I can give a much better answer to your specific thing. But I think in general, with a new community, it's really about just going, look, we wanted to try these things out. You know, it's brand new. I don't know the metrics, but I feel if we do this, we could be able to hit it. And I'm going to be putting these metrics together. But you definitely have to have something to put metrics together. If it's a new community, is it a brand new product that's 100% been launched today, then that's a very different story. But in general, most companies that have been around for 6 months or more will have a very tiny community which could help with that. Okay. And you can talk to the community, get them to help you with this. Go to the community and say, hey, I want to do X, Y, and Z. I found that one of the biggest lessons I learned was actually working with the community to help me achieve my goals. The more I worked with the community, the more they helped me, and they would give me some crazy cool ideas, stuff that I didn't even think of. So lean into that. If there is a community, lean into that community. The community could be 2 or more people, literally. Could be super tiny. 2 people using your product. They're part of your community. Reach out to them, chat to them, get the data that you need to do the convincing that you need to. Okay. Another question here is, using data visualization methods, programs, or platforms are very important because it helps you convert data into relatable, engaging stories. 100%. Yes, from EA. Very good point. So using these methods, visualization methods really help. Putting a funnel together, putting something together. Actually, I found a very cool tool the other day, which allowed you to just be able to get these pieces of data and just throw them together. I'll just see if I can find them and share with it after this call. All right. Okay. Now that you know how to talk to the customer, your stakeholders, in a broad way, and you've got the spaces model, so you're able to dive into those metrics, so you can put your business case together. The best way to convince them, obviously in the TIFIS case where you don't have a community, that's a bit more harder, but the best way is to create success stories and case studies. If you can show these success stories and case studies, it really, really helps to get customer or buy-in. So sharing the story of how community became the biggest fan, how that fan managed to bring in other fans who helped grow your revenue or helped solve lots of problems or helped grow with acquisition. So use those success stories and then also create case studies. For example, like this community answered 10 questions, resulting in 10 NES support tickets. Here are the posts. Here are the discussions. These were all going to be tickets on your ticket board that the support team would have dealt. Those 10 questions and those 10 tickets would have taken at least 1 hour. So this past month, we saved 10 hours. That's like an entire day, or nearly 2 days for one person over this month. Now imagine doing that at scale. Imagine answering 100 questions that month. That's 100 hours that you just saved your support team. So really spending time looking at the data, looking at the community, wherever they're living. Maybe they're on a forum, maybe that's at events, maybe it's wherever it is, but get that data and put this data with the spaces model data, with your metrics, etc., as well as with the your charts and your other data that you're putting together, and build this beautiful case as to why you need to change or add or do something and convince. Okay. Some tools and resources for this. Platforms. If you're not using a platform and you're across Facebook and Meetup and Meetup.com and other places, you don't have data. Sorry. It's really, really impossible to measure any of this. So maybe one of the convincing thing is to convince your company to get a platform, but you need to explain why you're getting that platform and how you're going to measure it and show how hard it is to get the metrics, and then go to Bevy or Chorus. So there's so many groups. There's a link over here, which you can see. I'm actually going to share this link here quickly in chat. Your there we go. Wait, what's just happened? I think I've lost my. Oops. Sorry, I've just destroyed all of that. Here's an interview. Note to self to do that again. Success. Done that. Here we are. All right, tools and resources. So I've just dropped a link in there. There's a really amazing amount of community platforms. Some of them are free, some of them are cheap, some of them are really expensive. Find the right one. You don't need everything, especially for a new community. For a new community, as long as you're able to get that data, Facebook and Slack and that could in the very beginning work. It just gets really tough to scale from there. But if you are starting to see growth and scale, then it's time to start talking about tools. And then look for something that's like a Circle CI, or Circle.so, I think it is. Circle.so, or something that's really, or Mighty Networks. I love Mighty Networks. Try them out. It's like a set price. It's like $50 a month or something. And you can build your community on that. And then when you start scaling beyond a certain size, then you can start paying for the bigger money. Don't go for the elites at the beginning. Slack 10 years ago, Slack these days, exactly. Definitely start using the right tools. The tools will definitely help you get these metrics. But ensure that the platform that you do start migrating to does give you the metrics. If it doesn't, try to find something else that's equivalent. There are so many tools out there, so choose wisely. But one of your key metrics, at the end of the day, there's a lot. You can have an entire wish list of all the features you want in the entire world. At the end of the day, that doesn't matter. Your features list of the things that you need do not matter. The most important thing for you as a community manager is my community in one place? Am I able to serve that community to get the information to them that they need? And then can I track and create KPIs around it? Those are the three questions you need to ask. If you can answer all of those three with the platform you're using, no matter what tool you use, you'll be okay. Even if the tool doesn't have 90% of the features, it doesn't matter. I've seen so many communities get tripped up over the tool and they want, oh, it needs to do X and it needs to do Y, it needs to do this. At the end of the day, they get the premier that has everything and the community completely crumbles because they never put down as the reasons why are they doing the community, how are they tracking the community, what is their goals of the community. They haven't even answered the basic questions, and they haven't even done any work. They don't even know how to run a community. So start by very, very slow, very, very small, or start fast and iterate fast, but start small, and then grow that, and then you can go into the platforms as you grow with your community. And because you're getting buy-in and stakeholder buy-in all the time, you're showing the metrics, you're capturing more data each time you go into the new platform or into a new place, you're going to continually have that buy-in from stakeholders, which will help you achieve your goals. Okay. Build relationships with executives. This is one of the questions as well. Like, how do you actually build these relationships? So identify potential champions. So like, find an executive who's passionate about what you're trying to achieve, or about community engagement or success. Like, talk to people. I don't know if you have donut calls in your company, or if you one in person and you're bumping into people at the water cooler or whatever. But find that one executive that is aligned with you and what can be achieved. There's always one in every company. He might be in product and has nothing to do with anything else, or might be in sales and has nothing to do with anything else, but that person in that leadership can bring up your ideas and your things in leadership meetings where they can then go, oh, actually, that's not a bad idea. And they might be able to articulate your idea differently, which might get in better buy-in. Strengthen that relationship with that person. Like maybe say, hey, I'd love to have a one-on-one with you every month. Or, sharing upgrades. Hey, we've done this, we're doing this. This has helped you achieve this. Look how great this is. And you're always looking for success stories and use case studies. Every month, you should have 1, 2, 3 things that are success stories that your community has achieved every single month. So that if anybody comes up to you, and then you should be sharing those with people, with different stakeholders. One stakeholder or one executive is going to come back to you and go, this is great. Let's do more of this. Boom, that person's going to be your champion. Dive in, let's do this. And then seek their advice, seek their guidance, get insights, speak to them, say, listen, I want you to help you. I know you're running sales, but the community can help you with sales. This is what we're planning to do. What do you think? Oh, actually, no, we're wanting to do X, Y, and Z. And they could be polar opposite of what you are. And then you can find out why they're polar opposite and either bring them around or change your strategy to align with what they're trying to achieve. Work with that. Like in the startup world, if you ask for funding, you're not going to get it. But if you ask for advice, they might end up funding you. It's an old saying. All right. And then collaborate with other CMs, community managers. They feel the same pain as you. They're going through the same things. Everybody's trying to achieve this. So for the questions that were asked today, thanks for asking me, and I hope my advice can help you, but my advice might be completely wrong for your situation. Come onto the forums, chat to other people, become a community part of community managers. CMX is one. The Community Roundtable is another one. FeverBee as a discussion groups. There's many more communities out there. There's a Fireplace one, and there's many communities. Definitely find your people and chat to them, and see how they can help you, and you can help them achieve their goals. All right, that's it. I hope this was useful and helpful. Some resources at the bottom here. You can reach me on g@bevy.com or on Twitter, GJustMate1. I'm not massive on social media these days, but feel free to ask me questions or reach out or anything like that. And then what I can do is I can just chat with you. That one. Okay. Does anybody have any questions or anything else? All right, that's that one. There's that one, and that one. I found these great ones while I was doing my research. Now I can stop sharing. There we go. Cool. Yeah. Any questions? Any thoughts? Anything else I can help with? We've got 5 minutes left. Feel free to come on stage.
Wow, thank you so much for that, G. That was an enlightening session.
Oh, wait, I think I'm not listening. I see somebody's talking, but I can't hear anything.
Yeah.
Sorry, let's repeat that again.
Yeah, I was saying thank you so much for that very enlightening session. It was so interesting, and how you took time to answer every question and relate it back to the slides and even offer resources. Thank you so much. So, any questions? I'm pretty sure you've answered all the questions because as everyone put it in the chat box, you've answered.
There were some great
So I
questions,
think
absolutely,
we're
and only a
so
pleasure. No, seriously.
yeah, we are packed. We are packed, fully loaded, and ready to build communities at this point. Thank you so much for that, G.
Absolute pleasure.
While we still wait for questions, I just want to give out a shout out to the sponsor. Basically, I was actually going to do this before, so please forgive me for that. So today's session is sponsored by Common Room, and Common Room is the leading intelligent community growth platform. It offers more than 25 native integrations, everything from Slack, Discord, and Discourse to Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, GitHub, Reddit, and Bevy, and then CRMs like HubSpot and Salesforce. And then it unifies all of that community data to deliver actionable insights. So you can kind of see how good they are for today's session. So common rooms on customers include community powered companies like Asana, Atlassian, Airtable, Confluence, HubSpot, Figma, Grammarly, Notion, and Webflow, and then DevRel and GTM leaders love using Common Room because it makes it easy to send automated messages, manage and track community cohort programs, set up real-time team alerts for any kind of community activity, discover and deliver new business leads, measure direct business impact with real numbers, and elevate the importance of their community and their role as a leader within the organization. So, for the fact that we learned today how to secure buy-ins for your community, Common Room is a platform that you can use because we talked about engagement. It offers that. We talked about tracking your metrics. It offers that as well. Okay. So, any question, anyone at all, even if it's very simple, even if it seems silly. Any questions? Okay, I think it's safe to say we do not have questions because truthfully, G, you've answered it all. You have. So we're meant to have a raffle game. We have so the game goes like this. Anyone, we're going to put I'm going to put the link to the Twitter page here. And so anyone who follows the page and tweets wherever they have linked, we put their name in the wheel of names and we select four and you get a reward. So just give me a second. I'm going to put the Twitter link. And yeah, right. Once again, shout out to our sponsor, Common, and don't forget they're like very useful for securing buy-ins in your community because they offer a bunch of benefits that is like profitable to your community. And I guess it's safe to say that we can close. We can close well because G has enlightened us, and everybody's going to do great, great things. We what we've learned today. So thank you so much for joining in today, G. Thank you so much in. We thank you for your session. And yeah, keep doing great things. And lucky enough, you start your day like 4 p.m. every day. That's really nice. So thank you so much. I guess we can like bring the event to a close.
Thank you so much, everyone. Okay, thanks. Bye. Bye.